Coffee Talk, the weekly episodes of podcasts that we do.
Yeah.
And we get all jazzed up, and it's like, morning time, and we talk about bad things that happen all over the world. We give us some Jeffrey Epstein updates. We talk about politicians. We talk about murderers. We talk about atomic bombs. And we also talk about sports anchors. I'm one of your hosts, Matt, and I'm joined by my great friends, some of my best friends, Taryn and Brandon. How the hell are you guys?
Pretty good.
This is not the first time we're doing this, so we're gonna pretend like we've never heard this stuff before.
Yeah, pretty good. We've been killing some zombies in Left 4 Dead. Got the achievement for not disturbing a witch.
Yeah, that's right. We went through a sugar mill.
Yeah.
And we
almost ran into like 7 witches.
Yeah. One of us disturbed a witch the first time. It took 2 tries. We've been killing zombies. We've been playing the new game Reanimal, having a great time there.
Yeah.
And Brandon, how are you? You've had a great week.
Great fucking week. Internet was out at work from like 6:30 last night to 3:05 today.
God, that's rough.
That is very
so
rough.
many fucking tickets and paperwork we needed to get printed out and worked on. It was a fucking clusterfuck.
I'm going to try the joke again. You had to do it Benjamin Franklin style?
What? Oh, yeah.
You had to write it all out. You had to get a damn printing press.
Yeah, I'm working on my Sanskrit cuneiform.
Yep.
Hell yeah, bro.
Also, the internet topic does tie into my topic later because I have a massive kind of interesting topic. I think you guys will like after Matt has an amazing update. So, Matt, show us what your update is.
Ready, go. What's the news? Hey, is there something new? What's the news? Say what you want to say.
Taryn, thank you for segueing into my glorious update. So, as the listeners may recall, dozens of not dozens, like 10, 15 episodes ago or more. I don't know how long.
Well, this is the
episode
18th
2
episode.
Or 3. 18. We're episode 18. We should probably start mentioning the episode number at the beginning. I'll do that next time.
Or at the end.
Yeah, we're at the end. That's fine. Just whenever. I'll throw it in. I'll overdub it. I'll be like, this is episode 18. No, episode 2, I believe it was the death of local news, whatever episode that was. That might have been episode 3. I brought up, in 3rd grade, I went to a local news station. Brandon, you remember 3rd grade, right? You broke your arm?
Yeah, I remember. I broke my arm back in 3rd grade.
He broke his arm.
That was a fun time.
He broke his arm, and his mom loved him for it.
My mom was so happy that day.
But so in 3rd grade, in the school we went to, we would all go down. Brandon and I were a year apart. He was a year older than me. But we would all go down to a little local TV station and, just spend the day there, kind of learn about broadcasting and stuff. And one day, when I was in 3rd grade, I was leaving the house, and my cousin lived with us at the time, my cousin Jeremy, and he's like, hey, get an autograph from the sportscaster. And I thought he said Rikishi Barron for a long time. He definitely didn't. That's the joke. But he said, get an autograph from Rishi Barron. It's this guy. He was a sportscaster at the time. And he wasn't there. And from that day until pretty much right now, I have thought about that moment at least once a week for at least 20 years. And I'm so happy to announce that we can close that fucking chapter of my life.
Yes.
I'm so happy. It goes into a thing. I thought he said Rikishi, and I think that's because I had SmackDown Here Comes the Pain back in the day, and Rikishi's a wrestler from that.
Yep.
And I thought he had, frosted tips, looked like a guy from Smash Mouth or something. No, he's just a regular-looking dude. So I've got the package here. I'm not going to dox myself this time. If you see, R. Barron, it's a P.O. box in Florida or something like that. Or maybe
don't dox him either, but yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and open it.
Hell yeah.
I've already cracked it open a bit.
Nice.
Here we go. We're fingering. We got a magazine or something in here. I don't know. We're just going to rip it all out. Holy shit. This is insane. Okay. Oh, buddy, he wrote a whole letter. He
Oh
wrote
my
a whole ass
God.
letter. Look at this.
Wow.
And I got a magazine. This is Gridiron Live. Oh, this is from. Holy shit, dude,
Wow.
dude, this is fucking awesome. Oh
right.
my god.
I see there's
Okay.
something written on the front of it. What does it say?
Okay. The magazine says, "To Matt, wishing you joy and happiness throughout your life. Thanks for watching and reaching out." Rishi
Hell
Barrett. That's
yeah.
his honor. He fucking sent that. And here's his letter. I'll read it. It says, "Matt, it was so nice to receive your email. I'm glad you enjoyed watching KTVO growing up, and you reminded me of many great memories from my time there. I still had an old copy of one of our high school football preview magazines that I want you to have. Enjoy this autographed copy. Thanks for watching, and I hope this note brings back awesome memories for you too. Rishi Barron." I got 2 fucking autographs, guys.
That's
Two fucking-
sick.
This guy's a goat.
Dude.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I'm so happy.
Because you had this updated. You told us that he
fucking
emailed
awesome.
you back on Christmas.
I sent the email on Christmas. He
Yeah.
emailed me back like 2 hours later, and I'm
Yeah.
like, guys, big news,
Yeah.
big fucking news. Because the previous episode we ended it, I think, talking about Rikishi Barron. I'm like, he
Yeah.
does, and you guys were like, he doesn't exist, and then you said he was on Epstein's Island.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Not on Epstein's Island. He's close though.
Well, to be fair to me and Brandon's credit, the letter you just it could have been a forgery right there. That could just be a forgery. You could just bought an envelope and then had someone else sign it or something. I mean, yeah. And then obviously the photo you provided in chat could just be AI generated. And we come on.
You know what? You guys could believe whatever you want. All I know is I can finally fuck me. I can finally fucking sleep at night. All right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are you gonna frame it?
was- I need to. If I don't frame it, it's just going to get lost. So
Yeah.
I'm going to frame this.
Nice.
It's so awesome to have that. Thank you, Rishi, if you're watching this. And also sorry, because you're watching this. Love you.
Sorry we implicated you in the Epstein
Yeah,
files.
please
But
don't sue us.
Hey, if you're in the files, it means you're very powerful. So
That is very true.
you run the world. Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
The good news is, if you decide to sue us, you know where one of us lives.
Yeah, that's good. I gave you my address. I gave you my address.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's funny.
He shows up at my door. It's raining one day. He knocks,
my God.
knocks it. I open it up. He blows me away in front of my dog.
You should send this episode
God.
to him.
No, God, no.
Let's not.
Just email it.
I am gonna write him a nice email back, but I let him know that I opened it, and it's really
That's awesome.
That's the coolest fucking thing, man. All right. Well, that's my update, guys. You guys email any old sports anchors that you know of?
I have not.
Maybe we should make a game up. Maybe we should find a sports anchor from like Great Falls, Montana, or something, and be like, hey.
Like
went
once
to
a month,
school.
just like have one
Just
of us
pick
just
it.
email. Yeah.
Pick it out of a hat and just like be like, hey, I was a kid in like 2003 and you worked here. Could I get your autograph? And just see what they say. I mean, we
More
don't have
often
to be.
not. I mean, I'm guessing they'll probably do it more often than not. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, I mean,
and
I
then
would give
also,
some-
if they're famous, you could start just selling autographs.
I'll be honest. If anybody wants my autograph, send me your address and I'll hit you up.
That's not creepy at all, Matt. Oh my
I
god.
won't show up on your doorstep 3 years later and you don't know who I am.
Oh my god.
I won't do that. All right, Sliv, do you want to take the rest of this episode away? Let
Yeah,
Brandon and I react to all of your crazy stuff while I turn my webcam off.
Sounds good. I will pull up something, and also I got to screen share something as well.
Okay.
So let me do that real
I
quick.
can capture your screen share.
And
gonna
I
be
can
a
send you
crazy-
this image as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see if that worked. Maybe not. Nope. Share screen. All right.
There it
There you
is. Whoa.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Is this Taylor Swift's private jet?
No.
Okay.
So what you are looking at is a map.
Fiber optic cables.
Damn, you're good. Yeah, this is a map of all the fiber optic cables that run to and from every continent, every country of the world. And it's very interesting because obviously Brandon said that his internet went out. And then as of recording yesterday, this isn't really a lot to do with it, but YouTube was down for like, I don't know, a few hours. There was like a massive outage. That's not quite on the internet side. That was a cloud server thing.
Right.
But I do have a whole thesis that we can get into this, and it's actually really cool. So this is choking the internet, the hidden forces shaping the world. Today, we're going to take you on a journey and most people don't ever think about, because the internet feels invisible. We click, stream, scroll, and share without even asking how it all works. But what if I told you the backbone of the global internet looks more like physical roadways than bridges than a cloud? And on these roadways, through regions of the world where stability isn't guaranteed. So
this is like Death Stranding shit, right?
Kind of.
I don't know if you've ever played it, but like that's just the connectivity.
Yes.
It's like literal structures, kind of.
Yes.
But also, what if the internet wants to be choked? Can we choke it?
Well, it's not the internet,
ask for
but
consent first.
The correct question I think you should ask is, what if someone wanted to choke the internet, not the internet itself? We'll get into that in a bit. So
Nice.
what happened earlier,
Kinky.
a YouTube outage, which was yesterday due to a cloud issue, is a great example of how fragile things can be. Cloud outages are just the surface story. Underneath all of it, what really connects us is the physical cables that lie at the bottom of the sea. And these have been for over 200 years now at this point.
Yeah, they were originally just like phone or telegraph cables, right?
Yes, we'll get
Something
into
like
a little bit of that
They've
too.
kind
Yeah.
of added to them and made new ones. Also, Sliv, do you need me to record this on OBS? Or?
No, I was just going to show the
Okay.
map, and then I was going to walk you through everything.
Okay. I'm gonna
send you
hide
that. Yeah, I was just
Yep,
going to
send
send
me
the
that.
map.
You're good.
Yeah, the internet is physical and it's vulnerable and increasingly an unstable world. People think of the digital age as being dangerous. Well, what connects the digital age to everybody and everything is those cables, those fiber optic cables that run across the bottom of the ocean. And those are extremely vulnerable. And if you think about every single time tensions rise internationally, or like even international relations between other countries we don't know of or don't even think about, like what's going on in the, let's say, Suez Canal. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. These all have little like small pieces to play in the entire connectivity of everyone. It's
Right.
weird to think like that.
What I really like about this is like it really shows that, you know, for one, it's like, oh, the internet, it just works because it's set up everywhere. But it just shows like, you know, these cables are kind of the
roadways.
the backbone.
Yeah, they're the
If
roadways.
without any of this, all of the magic that we have today kind of disappears.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that it's just built on this, you know.
Yeah, just
what it
fiber
is.
optic roadways. Yeah. That's why it's so important to, like, I wanted to show that diagram of the map just to show you how like far they are, and then also how many there are.
They're massive too, if I remember
Yes,
right. Like
yes.
they're huge.
I could probably show a picture on screen, or you could maybe edit a one of what they actually look like.
Yeah.
But so the way it works is like the fiber optic cable is a roadway, and then your data is like a car traveling on these roadways. Your bank transfer is a truck of loaded cargo. A Zoom call, a caravan of messages, like all of these interconnected data signals that travel back and forth is just traffic. And that's yeah.
It's just like Wreck-It Ralph, guys. It's just like Wreck-It Ralph. It wasn't lying when it showed everybody jumping in and out of the plug-in socket stuff.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
A cloud service outage that hit YouTube yesterday is like traffic control centers going dark. You don't see the road crumble, you just see a traffic stop moving. But what if the roads themselves were damaged is kind of the whole point. Is like, you might think of like a bottleneck of traffic and being in a like I don't know, LA traffic for 3 hours and it's just, you're not moving, which would suck. But what if the interstate started to collapse? That's a
what if,
whole
like,
different story.
sinkhole?
Yeah.
What if the big one hit and ripped the interstate off the mainland?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a whole different story than just being stuck in traffic.
that's a job for Nicolas Cage to tackle in his new movie, Internet Goblin.
Yeah.
Okay, but cut that out. we don't need to bring that into the world.
When most people think of the internet, they imagine satellites beaming from space, which that is true.
That's part of it.
Yes, but where all of our photos and messages live, but also entirely is a misunderstanding. In reality, 95% of the internet is through those cables, those fiber optic lines. It is insane how much data is being carried back and forth.
Yeah, and a lot of the data is stored in, servers and data centers and stuff like that. And that's why on, I think, episode 2, I was championing blowing up data centers. That's still a viable option for this, guys. We can still do it. It can still be done.
Oh my God.
we got to get my nudes off the internet.
See,
we have to save Brandon from the Indian man that stole his nudes.
I don't think that's correct. I think probably a good legal scenario is we got to stop the massive bulk collection. So let's say after 3 years of data, then companies are forced to wipe people's.
Or wipe or make some sort of agreement that's clear.
That could be an easy law that we agree, because we don't need mass surveillance. We don't need massive credit card companies trading our data. We don't need all of this. It's just them to make money, and it works.
It's shitification. That's what it is. It helps nobody except for the people that are doing it.
Exactly.
It doesn't help us. It doesn't help the advertisers even.
But the shareholders, guys.
Oh God, Brandon, I'm glad you brought them up. I forgot. I forgot about the sharetholders. Dude.
I wonder what the shareholders were doing of YouTube yesterday when it went down.
I don't know, man. They were probably. It sounds like they've been doing some eyes wide shut shit on the island. I guess I don't know.
Probably
Crazy.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they were panicked a little bit if YouTube dropped for 3 hours. That's kind of crazy. So
I just want it to crumble. I want to watch the world burn like that. That's fine. I'm fine with that, honestly.
Yep.
If it all goes away, I take up an axe and start chopping wood, old-fashioned style. Oh,
well,
man.
yeah. Well, as of right now, if you make a bank transfer, or if you check social media, stream a video, or send a message, there's a very good chance that the information traveled hundreds or even thousands of miles under the ocean. No satellites, no floating clouds, just cables. Most of the time they work perfectly fine, but those cables are physically vulnerable, and their routes through them takes to places in humanity that are very, unstable, I should say. They're very
everywhere.
Yeah, it goes everywhere. Not every country is going to be stable countries, especially when you're just think of just this year where we took the Maduro. That's not great. That's a political rising tension that is happening.
The cables are in America. They're coming to America, and America's. We're kind of on the edge right now, guys. You don't know what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
We'll cut the cables.
Oh, well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that actually ties in a little bit later. In the late 1800s, the first transatlantic telegraph cable, which was you mentioned earlier, was laid between Europe and North America. This was a marvel at the time, a technology that connected continents in minutes instead of weeks. It was a game changer, but it became a strategic target. In 1888, so just 88 years after they put it down, a diplomat named Eugene Bowen suggested cutting the telegraph cable to Germany during a dispute. The idea was simple: cripple the enemy communication. The incident nearly sparked international crisis. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, but the lesson was clear: communication infrastructure was power. So you already said cut the cable, and that was in 1888 was already being suggested, just cut the cable.
If I remember right, go ahead, Brandon,
only,
sorry.
If only we had done that, we could have stopped the Kaiser.
Yeah, fuck. We fucked up. If we didn't lay this cable, Hitler wouldn't have come to power.
Well,
Fucking what's his name? Wouldn't have shot the guy. I can't remember his name.
oh,
I can
that
always remember his
one
name.
fucking
Archduke Franz
yeah,
Ferdinand
yeah,
got shot by what's the guy?
I remember.
Don't worry. We'll move on.
All
Move
right.
on, it's fine.
So fast forward to World War II, you just mentioned Hitler. Allied forces deliberately cut undersea cables to isolate enemy nations and disrupt their ability to coordinate. This wasn't espionage in the shadows. It was strategic sabotage in the open eye of war. Today, we don't think about cables that way. They're buried out of sight, unremarked, but the strategic logic hasn't changed. Just like roadways and railways mattered in previous centuries, the routes that carry data matter now. And unlike history's physical roadways, the routes aren't on land where you can see them. They're on the seabed. And that makes them harder to protect and they're easily overlooked. So, especially like with when we're at war, like obviously you want to have a clear advantage and you want to get any kind of advantage or strategic, whether that's disrupting their communications or like surrounding the enemy. Like however, tactically speaking, you can win a battle or win a war, you would do so. So this is just one tool in the military that could be used. I'm not saying our military, but a military.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so crazy that it all is just there, and it's never like an attack on those to like a massive scale has never been done as far as I'm aware of. But I've heard of Russia, like their plan if things go south is to like immediately just go for the cables.
That's crazy.
Did I steal your
a little bit, man? You already know where I'm going with this.
I'll be honest, I've read a bit about this stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So I didn't go with the Russia taking the cables, which that is an option. But if you, even back just a few years ago in 2021, there was the whole debate over the oil pipeline. This is a physical thing underwater that was damaged. Well, we don't really necessarily, well, we don't know who exactly did it. I mean, the United States more than one probably did it, but, or it could be Ukraine. And we don't really, there's a lot of theory on that, speculation.
It's kind of maybe like a false flag or something, right?
Yeah, but
Type of deal.
The damage is done and the effects have rippled out where oil is not getting to Russia. That is a clear act of like strategics in where they're trying to get an advantage over Russia in some way or shape or form. And the same could be said about information and cables. If you can do it with an oil pipeline, you can do it with a cable. It doesn't take much.
Brandon, how do you feel about Cables or Cable in general, the superhero?
He's my favorite X-Man. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. You might ask why the cables go through specific corridors of the ocean. It's actually the most efficient route because you have all of the ships that are deploying them. They travel usually through the most efficient routes through the oceon.
Yeah, they're not just dropping them down the Marianas Trench, you know.
Yeah,
just being unless they are. I
guess I don't really know how far they go, but some interesting places that the cables run through are like the Red Sea with the Suez Canal, the Strait of Hormuz, and many others. Like think of channels that are with one or more countries at war, like, or even just have a treaty, like where it's a very thin area and it's just literally just a treaty saying like cargo can pass through it. And there's a cable underneath all of that.
It's not just like at the bottom of the ocean. It's like it's in not a lake, but yeah.
No,
like
it is
canal.
Technically at the bottom of the ocean. It's just running at the bottom of the channel of like, let's say the Suez Canal.
That's what I mean. Like the Suez Canal is not. It's not like the ocean. It's carved out between Africa and Europe. Like it's just there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So even when like there is. There's one thing where it's just in the middle of the ocean, like the Atlantic or the Pacific, where there's a submarine that can go to it. But then it's another where you have two countries that are closely in proximity at all times with it too. So if you just have let's say if you don't like, I don't know, Africa for some reason or whatever, then they're like, you know what, fuck you, then just cut the cable. You know, like that could be a thing they do. Like, just if tensions keep rising.
We did try to send a guy down in an old timey divey suit with the fucking axe, but he didn't make it.
That's true. Yeah.
I was gonna say Africa's my least favorite Toto song, so
Oh
I
my
would
God.
I would cut the cable. Let's cut the cable, guys. Come on,
Oh my
it's
god.
fucking blackout.
Toto is my least favorite fictional dog.
What?
Oh my god.
Hold on a minute. Pause the. You don't like Toto, bro?
No,
Toto's,
he's an awful fucking
he's out there
dog.
eating eggs and shit out of that bitch's yard. You don't like him,
You know what? I agree with Brandon.
No,
Toto,
thank
Toto's
you.
awful.
dude? Justice for Toto. That's all I'm gonna say. God,
Is that going to
he
be the name of the
helped
episode?
Dorothy.
Justice.
Justice for Toto.
We'll talk.
Derail the whole thing.
We'll talk about this on the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the
episode.
spoiler cast. We're gonna spoil Wizard of Oz for everybody.
Yeah.
She gets back. She makes it back. Everybody's fine. She had the power within her the whole time, and yeah, that's a spoiler. Okay,
Yeah.
continue, Taryn, about the internet.
Okay.
What's going on? Sorry.
So if you remember back in 2021, there was the Suez Canal ship that got stuck.
Oh yeah, the Evergreen.
Evergreen, I think it was.
They had a name change. I can't
yeah.
remember what it.
But that one ship, if you kind of think about it like the data with the internet traffic, well, that ship blocked up so many ships behind it, and that has an estimate of 9.6 to 10 billion dollars of cargo a day. Well, that was the ripple effects of just that one ship being caught, like wedged there. That's insane. Just that happened, but also, if one cable gets cut, not saying that all of it's going to have ripple effects like that, but it is a massive amounts of delay that will happen. And if you start severing the ties across every single country, well, then that's just really bad. Like nobody's going to be able to do anything with like international or interconnectivity with like the bank transfers, for example. Like if you have, hypothetically speaking, if you're a millionaire or whatever trying to hide your money in a Swiss bank account or whatever, it's going to be a little harder if you can't make a transaction to Swiss, your Swiss bank account.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that money means nothing if you can't say you want it.
Yeah. So it's very interesting how it's like on a thread almost, and our entire infrastructure is just hanging by a bunch of threads.
Right.
Not really a lot of people, I don't think, grasp that.
Yeah, it turns out everything you've ever known is just made up, and nothing matters. So just
Well, we kind of went through a little bit like what last year with that big cloud strike thing that went down.
I don't remember.
I heard a little bit
it was the whole
about
big-
it, but not
Refresh
much.
my memory, Brandon. Do you have enough information?
There was just the whole thing where the whole like just a lot of shit on the internet completely went down. Servers
Oh
and
yeah,
shit
yeah,
were
yeah.
just
The
messed
Amazon
up.
servers or whatever.
Yep.
Whoever had those.
Amazon, Walmart, our shit at
Yeah.
work was all fucked
Yeah.
up.
It turns out all of this shit's just propped up on like a broken foundation,
Yep.
and they're just letting it be that way, because.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary to think about. Like that we're just putting so much faith into this stuff that, for one, it is made out of physical material, and that stuff does deteriorate. I mean, we're kind of seeing that now with, old technology that just doesn't work anymore.
Yep.
Because it's either, it's
I'm sure
just-
Russia
it's
knows all about that
deteriorated.
right now with like old
Yeah.
tanks that don't work.
They're
That's just the
old, yeah.
physical version of everything. Yeah.
Right. And that, yeah, I mean, the more and more we digitize, the less likely too that people who remembered how to make something work with just like hydraulics or whatever,
Yep.
those people don't exist, and we're just we're gonna have to train people one of these days, I feel,
Yep.
to just remember that stuff, or like
Yeah.
start at the base again.
Here's a really cool idea concept. Now think of like an industry that no longer exists, or sorry, that exists, but it's very fractured and comparative to what it used to be like 200 years ago. One that comes to mind is watchmaking.
Yeah.
watchmaking, it took an incredible amount of like craftsmanship to carve out the gears and the connecting everything together and making it work.
Now there's CNC machines and
yeah, without seeing like with just hand filing down gears and like making things work back in the day, like 200 years ago or even longer. And
yeah,
like
the people that the people don't know how to carve their own gears.
Yeah.
With a file.
Well, now we can just make them in a forge and then like just have them printed basically from a forge, and then like you have like Rolex that can make digital watches or just old like a nice elegant one.
Yeah, Rolex they're still wound
yes.
and all of that, like they have auto wind. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like the skilled craftsman that knew every little detail.
Yeah, it's no longer more rare than anything. Yeah.
Another one that people don't think about, textiles.
Yeah.
Think about that. Our whole existence has been basically devoted to making food and making clothes.
Yeah.
And we don't really make clothes anymore.
And
like
more
machines
and more,
make
there's
clothes.
less farmers, so we're not making much food. Well, I mean, there's the farmers that supply everything, you know.
Yeah, textiles are a big thing. Like people used to just devote their life. If they weren't doing something, they would be weaving something or spinning yarn or thread.
Yeah,
like but we don't do that, and people don't know how to do that anymore.
Yep,
and it's
like a lost craft.
Basic. It is the foundation of society. Textiles and food, and we don't do it.
It's like a lost craft that has been lost to time in a way. It's very interesting,
right?
But that's like the physical representation of what's going on.
And it's the same thing with computers. You can't just build a computer out of nothing. I mean, you can, but you got to know it all before you do.
Like no reasonable person's not going to know how like a CPU chip actually functions with the pins and then like the silicone, like the connectivity of it. Nobody's going to know that, but you have like some massive like person that works at AMD or Intel that knows how to design a chip, and then on top of that you have computers that are getting better at doing it for us, so we're losing the skill.
That's the real thing. You have to have powerful computers to design more powerful computers.
Yes,
you know, you have to start, if you're going to do it again, you have to start with literal like flipping physical switches to binary
ones and zeros.
Yeah, it's
very interesting. And then a lot of people like these cables that carry all of this traffic. It's like makes you wonder what actually happens when they're damaged or like intentionally or let's say by accident. The global traffic doesn't disappear, but it slows significantly. Data is rerouted through longer and less efficient paths. Latency increases. International finances transactions lag. Cloud services struggle, and before you get to the worst case scenario, repairs are not simple whatsoever. Because if you have a cable that's like damaged in the middle of the ocean, well, it's so far away you have to send a ship out or a submarine out to go there, and that could take days or weeks, and then to repair it might take hours or days or weeks. So it's not an easy fix in any of this scenario, and it's just vulnerable. It's just sitting there.
Have you ever looked at like fiber optic splicing, like even just on land? Have you ever looked at how that's done?
No, I've seen how cat wires are spliced, and then that's kind of a similar concept, but not quite.
Fiber optic, it's it's just a little piece of glass. And it's a person who has basically it's a box with a laser so what you do is you put one side of the fiber optic in one side and the other in the other, and you get them lined up. You use the machine to like fine tune it, and it has to be perfectly lined up, and then it shoots a laser at it and melts the ends together perfectly. And if it's not lined up, you have to redo it, and you have to cut it just right, and you have to do this for every single wire in a line to splice them together. Can you imagine doing that underwater? My God.
Yeah.
And there's like thousands just on any given street that people have to do.
Yep.
Not accounting for the entire traffic of the world.
Definitely not simple at all. that's not even talking about like the speed of connectivity, because that can change, and I do know other countries are ahead of that with like the internet speeds. I know like South Korea is like widely like
super fast.
I think it's like 10 gigabytes just available almost anywhere, which is insane. I know there's
their need for StarCraft. I love that game.
Yeah,
They were like, faster internet. We have to build more pylons.
so it's not even about just the speed of the internet, but it's also like the physical fiber optic cables that connect everything are so delicate, and it has to work perfectly, and if not, then it just failed. And because it's digital, let's say like if you have a leaky pipe in your house, that sucks, but if you turn on the water, you're still going to get water. It's you're still going to get some of it. When it comes with digital, it's either on or off. There's no like partial or degradation. Either it works or it doesn't. When it comes to digital like that, it's a binary system. So you might have a leaky pipe that leaks, but you still get some of the resource out of it. And then
You know what? Thank God it's not fucking woke. We don't want a non-binary digital cable. Jesus.
I didn't even think of that.
Get that shit out of here.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally fine with non-binary people. For the listeners, if you
That's funny.
roll that way.
Yep.
But
Yeah. So you can imagine how an accident or a hostile act in the Red Sea could ripple outward. And it's not just the Red Sea. Like I said, there's choke points around like the Strait of Malacca, which I didn't really know, which,
Moses doesn't just have his eyes set on Egypt, man. He's coming for you. That's what he's trying to say right now. That's what Slip's trying to say.
Exactly. Yeah. Where
Holy retribution.
Cables connecting Asia to the rest of the world pass through a narrows water between Malaysia and Indonesia. In regions of like regional tensions and military movements near these routes raise concern. If you don't have good international relations with, let's say, Asia, and let's say India has a cable that runs from India to Asia through the strait, right? Hypothetically speaking. And if you don't have good international relations, nothing's going to stop them from going, you know what, fuck your connection. I'm not going to deal with you anymore. I mean, technically speaking, that could be a thing. I mean, that's obviously raising escalations and going towards the war path, but that is a military tactic that could be used. That's just a hypothetical, but yes.
To me, it's kind of weird that it's not used, because it's like mutually assured destruction. That kind of makes sense, because it's like, if you use your nukes, we're going to use ours and we're both going to die. But like, this is just like, if you cut off the internet, we'll cut off your internet. But it's also like, I just don't. Well, you know what it probably is? It's probably the money. There's probably way more money incentivized to. There's probably some billionaire being like, "Don't fucking do it. If you do this, you ruin everything."
Speaking of the money,
nobody wants to be the guy that cuts off Pornhub.
Yeah, we already have to say we're over 18.
Who is it? Rob DeSantis does, because he wanted the bill.
Yeah, banned it
in Florida, I think, and then everybody started using a VPN. But Rob
he bought stock in a VPN.
Probably.
It's happening. There's like 22 states
It's
now.
ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
that's so stupid. What
so
are we
dumb.
doing?
I don't know.
Come on, give me those titties.
Come on, Matt. This is a work podcast. Anyways,
Ladies,
oh my God,
I'm single.
you're derailing me. The cables
I would
are
like
not
to derail some ladies, if you know what
Oh
I'm
my
saying.
God.
I'm so sorry. Go, move on. Move on.
The cables are not invisible to governments or defense analysts. They know about them, and according to public defense reports and statements, organizations like NATO have quietly increasing monitoring of international underseas infrastructures in recent years, especially after mysterious infrastructure incidents like the Baltic region, which I hope you know a little bit more about that, Matt, than I do.
No, would this be the Russian stuff that I was talking about? Probably.
More than likely, probably, yeah.
This is their plan. They're kind of like poking around down there, looking at it. A lot of the cables, I think, are armored for like ships and anchor
Yep.
strikes. I do believe,
Yes.
but still, I mean, if you wanted to do it, you could probably just blow the fuck out of one.
Yeah. I mean,
So long.
armor is
Big
not going to
utility.
stop, like C4. Like, let's be real. Like,
Yeah,
it's not going to, it's going to still damage it. I mean,
thermite or
yeah,
anything
thermite,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think they want something a little better than plastic explosive.
True, but I'm saying that could still damage it.
that far
Yeah.
down.
Naval vessels have been spotted mapping the seabed near these cables. Commercial and military interests are both aware of the vulnerabilities. So it's very like nobody wants to. Sorry. Everybody knows they exist, like from a commercial aspect or a military aspect, but the general population isn't really aware of it because they don't see it. They don't, think of it. And then so whenever you're like, I don't know, playing a video game, or if you're waiting for installation of Windows or whatever, streaming a movie, and you have slow speeds, well, keep in mind that the data that's traveling is probably through one of these cables, and it's going
Yep.
thousands of miles, and there could be a degradation in service. Also, keep in mind that as tensions raise, this becomes more and more of a target. That's just how it's gonna be.
Right. If Netflix keeps buffering and you can't watch season 5 of Stranger Things, it's because the Rooskies. That's right, Sliv. Good
Oh my
job.
god. Yeah. It's not all about intentional acts, like you mentioned, like they're armored and they're like stopping from anchors, which is a great number of sea cables breaks historically have been accidental, caused by fishing trawlers, dragging nets, anchors dropping on the wrong place, earthquakes, shifting seafloor geology. All of this is some shape or form a way to damage a cable. It's very interesting.
I didn't even think about like that. They're plate tectonics. So that's got to be crazy. Like it,
Yeah.
that's just moving and they're there. Oh my god.
Yeah. All
That
of
gives me
these
a headache.
factors. Yeah. It's weird. And then we're not even talking about other ones like underwater volcanoes. That's like Hawaii is a volcano, but there's cables.
There's cables going out to Hawaii. Yeah, they gotta have it.
Yeah.
This is like when I think about giant RVs. Like it's so inefficient. You know what I mean? Like they're especially the ones that are like a giant RV and they're pulling one of the personal vehicle behind them. Like this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're driving a 50-foot long bus with another trailer, and it's just, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It gives me the same amount of like anxiety
It's-
thinking about this.
It's
Just
a
everything that
massive
could
like
go wrong.
spider web of cobwebs that span the entire globe. And that's not even like the satellites that we're talking about. And yeah, I can go a little bit more into the satellites in a bit. But these cables are so important to society. You mentioned money earlier, Brandon, where like it's some billionaire probably wants a stock and you're concerned about the shareholders. Well,
Yeah.
the stock is also reliant upon the internet, as stock trading is. And when you have stockbrokers, especially like Wall Street, for example, if they're off or if they have a delay, that actually affects the stock trading. And
Right, they
so
can't trade as fast. I've heard
Exactly.
that they put like towers as close as they can to like the selling points.
yes,
So they can-
and then there's even ways to intercept the signals. A lot of it goes into. I don't know all of it. Yeah, it's crazy.
No shit. Just like watched a thing or maybe listened to an NPR broadcast about this like 2 days ago.
It's
That's
very
insane.
interesting though.
Yeah.
Trying to get the
Oh, wait.
fastest signal. Yeah.
And Taryn, I know you're going to get into satellites, but what you really mean to say is Jewish space lasers, right? Is that what we're getting into?
Well, maybe if we're talking about the moon and putting a laser to glass the moon.
You still believe in the moon, huh?
Yes, it is a giant pizza.
Brandon, how do you feel about Jewish space lasers in the moon?
Well, again, the moon isn't real. That's just something we project on the dome.
Yes,
Yeah.
Good point.
It's like the bat symbol with just a, facade.
Just a giant thing for Wallace and Gromit to go to get a nice cheese and
Yeah.
cracker.
Yep.
And every once in a while, you see they accidentally replay the Neil Armstrong clip. If you look at the moon just right on the right time of day,
You can see him up there.
you can see it.
We're all just, you know, Truman and the Truman Show.
Wouldn't that be sick though? I'd love to be in it. I would love to have I'd love to be gaslit into thinking like all of this is real, and it's not real.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I can die happy probably. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen. We'll see.
All right.
Just moving on.
I don't know how to segue out of that one. So the cables, they have vulnerabilities, which we discussed, like earthquakes or tectonic plates. Well, if you think of it like a highway being blocked by a landslide as well, and that's kind of a good analogy. It's not just like a car crash or a bridge falling down. It could be like landslides or, let's say, a boulder in the way of the road. It's things like that.
It's like that one train Brandon was talking about on the worst places to spend Christmas. The landslide that knocked it down. Everybody died.
Yeah.
It's just like that. Brandon.
Or like some fucking sinkhole opens up in the road.
Yeah. Where you get eaten by a bunch of alligators walking around.
Yep. These highways can be blocked by just or disrupted by natural events. This just happens throughout the world.
Yeah.
Unlike satellites or wireless communication, undersea cables require physical protection, inspection, maintenance, and strategic routing. And I hear you snickering. What, Matt?
I'm just having so much fun.
I thought you had something.
No, I just made a joke about getting eaten by alligators, like it actually made sense, and nobody said anything. And it just,
at this point, I don't know. I'm just trying to roll with punches.
Fun. I'm just having fun.
Is this the consequence of a late
Yes.
recording?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a late recording, and I'm not tired, so
that's fine. So we're going to circle back into how this connects to everyone and the outages. YouTube's outage was due to a cloud service problem. It reminded millions of people why we're how dependent we are as a society on digital services. But we pay little attention to something when something breaks. Sorry, we only pay attention when something breaks, not when it's just functioning flawlessly. So if you think about that, like if the internet works, then great. If it doesn't, then you're wondering why is it broken.
Yeah, like what Brandon was talking about earlier. He had to go back to fucking 1826.
With the printing press.
Yeah, he had to go way back. I actually might have been like 1750 something, but whatever. Like that's the same thing. You don't think like, oh, this is all just works. You think, oh, this is probably all on a local thing, like things used to be. We can probably still just print this shit off because it's right here.
Yeah.
But no,
Doesn't fucking work.
Some shitty connection thing that's.
Yep.
I mean,
and
if it were local, it would. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, sorry.
Cloud services. It's fine. Cloud services sit all at the top on data centers, which sits on top of the undersea cables. If you think of it kind of like a pyramid shape, obviously the data centers are what's above, and that's where all the traffic runs through, and that's where they collect all the hard drives and the data. That's where all of it functions and flows through. But to get from one data center to the other, you have to have the cables.
Right, and at the very top, Xenu.
Yeah.
Scientology's God.
Yes.
He's right there.
If the top layer fails, you see an outage, but if the bottom layer fails, you see a cascading global consequence.
Oh my God.
That's kind of what it is, though.
That's a terrible line of words that you don't want to see. Cascading global consequences.
I mean, it
That's
is,
like
though.
when Mariah Carey comes around in November. That's the same thing.
But it is, though. Like, if you think about it, if hypothetically speaking, if they were to sever, let's say, not even one line, let's say they severed, let's say 10% of the lines across the globe, that's
done.
detrimental.
We're done, right?
It would be a catastrophe.
That's detrimental to like stocks, to like society, to it's insane.
Hold on. Detrimental to stocks, yes. To society, maybe not. I think we'd be all right. We go outside, be fine. Smell the air. Finally.
The digital world as we know it's detrimental.
Yeah. No more Markiplier, that's for sure. Goodbye, Game Grumps.
And unlike a cloud failure, let's say if you are a company that has a data center, you have IT personnel, I'm sure YouTube does, on staff ready to handle when issues arise. That's part of that's part of your business. Like, you have the people qualified to fix those things, like a maintenance. However, when it's in the middle of the ocean, you don't have someone. This is where governments come into play, or private companies.
Grok doesn't work 2,000 leagues under the sea.
Yeah. So like,
And thank God for
Thank
that.
fucking Christ.
it's literally held by patchworks of agreements, contracts, and geopolitical interests. It's
Also
Kinda-
known as trillionaires. You know, the richest people in the world who are like, don't fuck this up.
yeah.
This is everything. If this breaks, I can't rule the world anymore.
Yep. So we're going to talk about a couple of real world examples. In 2022, a fisherman accidentally damaged the undersea cables in Mediterranean. Economics in Europe and North Africa experienced slower internet traffic and increased costs as data rerouted around the break. No one blamed the government. No one declared war, but it shows how delicate the system can be. Another case involves severe weather in the Atlantic, which damaged cables connecting South America to Africa. For days, businesses, internet users, and regions dealt with instability. And let's touch on the most dramatic example that people have never heard of, an event that goes often overlooked about infrastructure sabotage. In the early 2000s, explosion on the oil pipeline, which we were talking about earlier, where Russia it was the Western Europe of the Druzhba pipeline, I think is his name.
Shout out to Druzhba. Love that
yeah.
guy.
I'm probably mispronouncing it. But it was widely blamed on an accident damage at the time, but later investigations and geopolitical analysis hinted at the possibility of sabotage with strategic intent, which wouldn't surprise me because it is a target, just like infrastructure is. If you're a military, you go after like what can cripple your enemy. You go after power, you go after the communication. So you have nuclear facilities that are targeted, you
Yes.
have communications that are targeted. You want to break them down on multiple fronts. So
And also drone strike the civilians.
yeah,
That does the trick, Obama style.
destroy their morale. Yes. That is another front.
That was a joke,
dark.
by the way. That's
know.
it's proven that doesn't work at all.
No.
People just get more mad. It actually probably improves the morale because they're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Oh, I'm turning into Matt. Fucking derailing my own podcast now.
Do it.
Don't worry, we'll
Do
cut
it.
all that out. So the same strategic calculus now applies to internet cables, supply chains, communication routes, data highways. They're all a part of the modern world system. Something even more important, this isn't about cyber warfare, which cyber warfare is incredibly important just in itself, because you don't have to be at the physical location to be able to destroy a server with cyber warfare.
Yeah, you could just be Kim Kardashian and break the fucking internet, guys.
That's
just
true.
Drop an ass pic.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
We often talk about hackers or digital espionage, malware, ransomware. All of these are real important, but the physical vulnerabilities behind the internet, the one you could technically drive a truck through like a data center, or the ones that you can cut with a chainsaw or a cable saw, I guess. Not really a chainsaw, it doesn't really work underwater, but a cable saw.
Just take a goddamn Husqvarna down under 2,000 feet in the ocean. Start it up.
I did see a video of someone using a chainsaw underwater, so
That's so sick. Oh my gosh.
this is the difference between a traffic jam in Times Square and a collapsed interstate bridge. That's kind of the whole point of this whole episode. It's kind of showing the vulnerabilities of the physical system of the internet rather than the cyber version of it. We talk about like enshittification of the digital world, but this is like the infrastructure is degrading and it could be a target going forward. It often is. And I mentioned that militaries are, our military, for example, is patrolling them more and more throughout the years because they realize it's a target. Well, because it's a target and because our military is patrolling it, that is spending tax dollars for a defensive purpose in this regard. And I'm not saying I'm against defending, what we should defend. I'm saying that you should be aware of like operations that are going on and why they're going on a little bit more. This is where I think a lot of people lack the general understanding of like what is the reason as to why there's a U.S. military ship in the middle of the Atlantic or the Pacific. And then yes, it could be as a deterrence. It could also be for a defense purpose. It could be because there's another, I don't know, hostile country that might want to do something that would affect us in some way or another. Very interesting though.
There could be a bunch of Italians looking to start some chaos.
Yeah.
I only say that because the Italians were blamed for the molasses thing back in the day. Remember that?
Yeah.
Just tying that back in. Italian anarchists.
So that's kind of the gist of the argument of what I'm saying. It's like very interesting, the physical versions of it. You heard of like shipping lanes or oil transport routes, but these are just the routes that carry data. So it's going to be in a target, just a matter of time. And the more I kind of dove into this, the more I kind of thought, well, I could almost put this on my bingo card because I'm sure it's going to probably inevitably be a target in some way, or it already has, or it will be.
It's one of those things though, where like you could put it on, it's viable for like any year. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily like this year is the time we do it. It could happen anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like,
great info, Sliv.
Yeah, it's like an underwater world that a lot of people don't really even consider it to be in existence, even though it does. And it's all spanning back to the 1800s with the telegram line.
Just the first ideas to do it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's just down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to say what this has done is it's kind of given me hope about things. Like, I'm not saying like the internet and technology is bad and all, but like, in the day and age with all of the kind of shitty stuff like shittification and things like that, you're like, this is just so overbearing. This is just, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. And this gives me hope that maybe one day it'll just get cut off and we won't fix it.
There is an idea being kind of forming with the separations of power becoming more and more, because like the United States is like backing out of NATO. Like not NATO, not yet anyways. Well, they probably are, but I mean they're posturing that way. You see all these like positionings of countries taking their own like direction. Canada is aligning more towards like the UK. We're kind of splintering off from that, I guess, for some reason or another. And you see these fractures becoming more and more like massive fault lines in international relations. And when these fault lines happen, you can kind of see isolation pockets where the United States is going to be in isolation. China is probably going to be like a bubble. Russia is going to be a bubble. You can see these bubbles start to form, and those bubbles aren't great, especially for in general in history. They often lead to war. Like these bubbles are not great. Information bubbles or let's say even immigration bubbles, like all of these are not great.
Yeah, the thing that the conspiracy theorists warn you about are like the New World Order, like the one world government.
Yep.
And they're like, we don't want that. But really, you kind of want that because that means everybody's cool with each other.
In certain ways, yeah.
In a way,
I think I think the whole reason as to why they don't want the one world order is because they're afraid of the elitist, not just the elitist, and which I mean, depending on your theory there.
Yeah, most of those conspiracy theories do devolve into like there's a bunch of Jews out there and they're trying to take over the world and conquer it, and that's what that is. But in theory, just like communism in theory or socialism or capitalism in theory, in the way that it's meant to be, is technically a recipe for a utopia. But that's never going to happen. Maybe. Probably. Unless we
Probably.
all, like most of us, die,
Yeah.
and then we just slowly repopulate the Earth, or don't.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I kind of want Brandon's thought because he had work issues. So I wonder if this kind of was registering on your mind a little bit at all.
Yeah, were you thinking about the undersea cables, Brandon?
Probably not that
No, I was thinking our shitty ISP
well.
shit out on
I'm
us
sure the
again.
internet service provider was probably thinking about those cables.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I mean, we were out for almost 24 hours, 21 hours, close
That's
to.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
who
It could have
fuck
been,
knows?
too, just something that they were drilling into, and they might have broke
Knocked a line.
We did have a lion energy
Yeah.
out
Oh,
there
yeah, that probably
recently.
might have been it.
So
They might have been rooting around,
But
looking for stuff.
it's easier to fix the cable when it's like, 10 feet from your building. It's a little harder when it's, I don't know, 7 miles underwater.
Yeah, surrounded by sharks and
Well,
crabs
Yeah.
and stingrays and small fish that are kind of pretty, but they'll bite you.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Very, very dangerous. But that's kind of the end of the topic there. I kind of wanted to I thought it was fairly interesting.
I also thought so. Had a good time.
Yeah.
That was great.
Any last thoughts, I guess, because it's a little over an hour. Not bad.
Yeah.
cut the fucking cables.
Cut
Just fucking
Yeah.
get it over with.
Do it. Somebody go down there. Somebody hold your breath really long. Take a big pair of scissors and just chip it away.
Or underwater chainsaw.
Come on, you know you want to.
Get it over with so we can start rebuilding the
Yeah.
world as it.
Let's
as it
go back
should
to
be.
radio communication and
Yeah.
just regular telephone lines. We don't want to know what a man in Europe is doing. Come on, we don't want to talk to those people over there. What are we talking?
We want to be blissfully ignorant in our isolation bubbles, right?
Yeah, but also like we would. I mean, the ignorance would be like, I don't care what Mao Zedong is doing. He's dead. We know what he's doing. We know what that guy's doing. Yeah, he's dead. He's God. Just ignore me.
You couldn't pick a better example.
I don't want to know what some Japanese guy's doing. I kind of do, actually.
Yeah, the prime
That's a
minister is
bad
kind of
example,
important.
Yeah. I don't want to know what's going on, and
Yes, you do. You're lying to yourself.
I kind of want to know, guys. Guys, I'm thinking I kind of want to know what's going on across the sea.
Yep. It's
Don't
very
cut the
important.
cables. Or do.
Yeah.
Or do. We'll be fine. I just want to like own a sunflower farm one day, and I feel like that's never going to happen as long as the internet exists. Right?
I don't see how those two are connected, but sure.
Oh, sunflower seeds, people like them, put them in their mouth, spit them out.
Yes, I understand sunflowers. I understand
Yeah,
that.
but if there's the internet, I'm never going to get off my ass.
Cut the fucking cables so we can
That's
build our.
not stopping you from buying sunflowers. Okay.
I'm not buying sunflower seeds. I want to farm for sunflowers, Taryn.
Cut the fucking.
What don't you understand about this? Go
can
ahead,
make it-
Brandon.
You can make your own business, I guess.
Cut the fucking cables so we can go live in our hobbit holes. Just
Sounds
not
good.
dealing with the outside world.
You can't have a hobbit hole with fucking Wi-Fi.
No.
That's wrong. That goes against everything that Tolkien stood for. He was
Yeah.
like Frodo, not a big Twitter guy.
Me looking at the map of how many cable lines actually go to New Zealand.
That's incredible. They're there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the map includes New Zealand, actually.
Yep.
Good for this map. Hell yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Coffee Talk. If you like the episode, please put a thumbs up on the episode and comment your plans to cut the cable. We want you to do it, or don't, or do it. I don't care.
Share your tips.
Yeah, share your tips. Should we
disconnect everything?
Should we disconnect everything? Should we have connected? Should we do what Death Stranding 2 said, where it's like we never should have connected? Who knows?
Or should we connect everything even more?
Yeah, I think we should actually connect everything. I wanna have like teleporters.
You wanna
Stuff
have a
always
matrix?
talks about those. A matrix, yeah. I want to be plugged in like I'm bald and beautiful
Neo
Keanu
from the
Reeves.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Just the one
If I'm in the Matrix, man, they could make me do anything.
harvesting humans. Yeah.
Yeah. I could be like a dog. Would you guys be a dog in the Matrix if you wanted to be?
Not that
Like
shitty
a real
Toto.
life. Fuck you. Fuck you, Brandon. Fuck you. We're ending the podcast. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm out of here.
Good one, Brandon.
Bye. Kitty.
Bye.